bed into another's sheets. I'm tired of blaming myself for all your treacheries. I'm good enough with
One moment, por favor. There. So today's the day I make my trip over to the steel yard. I had them special order me some aluminum. Just needed some aluminum stock since now I can TIG weld. There's some developments in my design process. Let me just bring you up to speed. This is the first time I've said any of this out loud, so we're going on take number 1 here. Love weight shift arms. You can feel the wing like nothing else. And that's what I'm all about, is feeling that wing. A mid or low hang point machine will give that to me. So I flew this Evo 100. I'm not sure. It made me think, man, I need a purpose for this machine. I bought a 5-gallon fuel tank, and I'm still sort of wondering if I should use that fuel tank or weld one up like Dimitri did with aluminum, and but weld it into the tubing and incorporate the tank as part of the frame. I could probably still get 5 gallons with very minimal weight gain. I'm getting a sheet of aluminum today, and I'm gonna play with it. I'm gonna play with that idea. I bought enough aluminum to build 2 paramotors. It was only about $100 difference. So I may do version 1, version 2, and just chalk a version 1 up as to the, you know, to get the dimensions of what I want and make sure it works and make sure I can fly it. Then come back with that high-end carbon fiber and build a copy of it. After everything's done with all the changes and the balance and the swing arms, that's kind of for $100 and a little bit of practice. I think that may be a worthwhile investment. And I would still have a viable paramotor. Dirty Bird version 1. It may be all I'll ever need. I don't know. I may build an exact copy of it. We're gonna find out. That's my plan, I think. I think I just come up with that now that I was talking out loud about it. I'm not sure where we left off. I had to do some business in town. It got me thinking about Dimitri. Dimitri designed, built, taught himself to fly without any assistance, totally self-trained from scratch. This is something that I highly considered back in the day. I didn't know that you could. I didn't know anything about paragliding when I wanted to learn to fly. I mean, I'm sure I would have fell in love with it if it would have been the first thing I'd ever discovered. It's an amazing thing, flying is. Dimitri jumped all the way in. He started in the shallow end and progressed toward the deep end, the way you're supposed to do it, in very small increments, and lots of research and thought. It's how the first guys did it. It's how the pioneers did it. Weight shift arms. And I'm gonna do them at a round 2. I can do some different variations in design, find out the proper ballast points and comfort and that sort of thing, and then make a high strength copy for flight. It would be pretty easy to do with the machinery. Whoa, this guy's like, in my lane. He has 6 inches on my side with that big old milk truck, whatever that was. Yeah, I'm just gonna feel it out. I'm gonna get the material and feel it out. That's what I'm gonna do. If I do something that I like, whoa, another damn milk truck on my side of the road. What is wrong today? What is wrong with milk truck drivers today? Why they gotta drive 6 inches in my lane? Ah, terrible, terrible. Whole dang river bottom has done filled up. This is usually farmland out here. Every bit of this farmland is completely underwater right now. That's what I'm talking about. I got some aluminum sheet on the trailer here, and he loaded me up with some steel, some aluminum over here too. I think we're rolling. So here we go. Let's commence the paramotor build.
keep moving from my bed into another's sheets. I'm tired of blaming myself for all your treacheries. I'm good enough without you. Matter of fact, I'm at my best. You won't keep pulling me down, cause I'm giving myself a rest from you. Might have taken me a while, but I know you ain't worth my time. Yeah, I'm through. I'm taking myself off your ride. Now watch me while I glide. Yeah, oh, watch me while I glide. Yeah, cause I ain't gonna fly by night with you no more. I ain't gonna shy tongue-tied and take another lie, cause you were just a fly-by-night with me all along. So I'ma give myself all right to knock you out of my life, cause 'cause I ain't gonna fly by night. I ain't gonna shy tongue-tied, 'cause I ain't gonna fly by night. So I'ma get myself alright. Now I'm free and treating myself to the things you had me miss, 'cause it ain't your diamond rings that ever brought me bliss. Me and myself, yeah, we've got catching up to do. Don't need anybody else to love me like I do. Yeah.
So my cousins came over and took over the shop and interrupted paramotor construction part 1. It's gonna change his headlights. Said it was gonna take 30 minutes.
What they said on the video.
That's what they said on the video. I'm at a stopping point. I used an old sign that had a stack of signs from just some junk file. And I put the bolt hole patterns for the motor in there. And then I did my bending and everything and welded it onto the frame. I don't know if you can inspect my welds. I think they're all right. I think I've reached a level of welding proficiency so that everything more or less is stuck to the right place. I think they certainly will hold. We're gonna see. So with all that said, I'm gonna enjoy some Guns and Oil Black Lager. Jen got it for me. I guess she thought I would like it, so. Christmas vacation. That's gonna be the end of part 1. Good night, stay tuned, subscribe, and you can watch the whole thing, because I'm gonna document this entire paramotor build. Drew it on a piece of paper, build it, just like that. So Merry Christmas, much love, Kyle out.
Which one can you take on the right side?
When your kids leave a fidget spinner in the shop, I don't want to do it anymore. Whoa, man, you can feel the torque on that thing. Practice your, let's see, which way is spinning? Okay, it's spinning just like the paramotor. So when you go up, you feel which way it wants to turn. Look at there.
You're a goddamn engineer.
Yeah, it's the P factor.
A philosopher.
I mean, gyroscopic precession. There's all sorts of stuff you learn about when you fly airplanes, because the propeller is making a force on that plane that you got to counter.
Yeah.
So you got to understand the 90 degrees when you put a force on a spinning gyro, you get a reaction 90 degrees to it. So it's like when you raise the nose up on the plane to take off, you got to give right rudder immediately to counter it. Silos right here in the distance there. That's where I watched the Leonid meteor storm, November 2001. Listen at me, 2011. 2001, just a month before I married Jennifer. I made her come out here in the middle of the night in the middle of this big river bottom, and it was even darker, more unpopulated out here then, and watched that meteor storm for hours. We filled up the hot chocolate and the coffee and the thermoses and brought our Nintendo chairs that you could rock back all the way and look up at the stars. And I said, get in. We drove out, unloaded that stuff in about 15 blankets, and she was big pregnant. Oh, it was so fun. It was so fun. It gave me the sensation that I was riding the planet, that flying sensation. He said because there was so many meteors in the sky, they was coming down, you know, there was 50 in the sky at a time. Meteor storm, the biggest one since '66, and I wasn't even alive then. So I got to see the biggest one since I was born. And that's what happened. We was right back here at those silos, man, out in the middle of this river bottom.